Hey everybody, welcome to Average Guy Opinions. I'm your average guy, John Corelli. This is part 4 of 5 or more, we'll just see. Uh, didn't have to go to Dad's today. He ended up interviewing for Innovage, which is a company that basically tries to get you, as an old person, they try to help the elderly get into homes and with all kinds of other situations, whether it's physical therapy or transportation, or in this case, to get into some sort of residence. That's what they're helping my dad with today. That took up a big chunk of his day. By the time he even called me, it was like 2 o'clock, and he was like, "Don't bother coming over. I'll see you tomorrow." So we are 4-0 this week. So that's a good week. I did though want to talk about some stuff. Like I've said, I've been going through his stuff. It's been, and I've shown you guys some of the possessions that were his and that are now mine, or that will get recycled, or that will go to Logan when he moves out. Uh, but this was kind of a weird thing that happened. He had been saving up. This is typical hoarder stuff, but I was really blown away. He had been saving all kinds of paperwork from all kinds of different stuff. He had saved, it felt like he had saved every bill he had ever, sorry, I gotta adjust my seat. It felt like he had saved every bill he had ever paid. And I was going through it. I'm trying to recycle everything. I'm not getting super nosy about it. I mean, I found an IRS, a tax return from 1979, and it had his girlfriend. It wasn't even his. It was his girlfriend at the time. So it was a few years, or like it was probably about 5 years after my parents got divorced, and he was dating. It's kind of a semi-notable. She was the daughter of a man. I can't remember his first name, which I should. But his name was he was Pastor Blair, and he was a televangelist, like before televangelists got way huge. But he was a Denver televised preacher, and the place is called Calvary Temple. I believe it's still there. I think it was on University and like Alameda and Cherry Creek, and she had gotten divorced from her husband, and my dad had gotten divorced from my mom, and they started dating in the late 70s, early 80s. It wasn't very long, didn't last very long. Um, she had a couple daughters, Kelly and Kara. Her name was Judy, Judy Blair. I think she kept, or I know she, I think she dropped her. I think no, Judy Blair. She may have been going with Judy Anderson. I know none of this really matters. It's just details I remember. These were like my junior high years that I would hang out with Dad, and we would hang out with this family on the weekends. So it was like the five of us would watch movies together and do stuff like that. They were very religious. I was not, so that would sometimes lead to small conflicts. Nothing big. They're just some of those memories kind of cropped up when I saw this. It was just a funny way for a memory to be triggered. Was to see, just like it wasn't even the whole tax return. It was just like her claiming her children as dependents on her tax return. That's what this page was. 10 who knows what, IRS form 1040 whatever. So. Um, so that was weird. Just that some of the stuff he had kept for so long, and then I found and I should have brought that to show it to you, but I gave it to my stepdad upstairs. When my mom kicked me out in the middle of senior year, 1985, January of 1985, I've discussed this before. It wasn't a big deal. Frankly, it was probably a kick in the pants I needed. Either way, you add up all the things that happened to you in your life, and you go, here I am, and for better or worse, and I think for better, I'm here. I've had a good life. So, but yeah, I was just, I wasn't a bad kid. I was just an underachiever. I wasn't doing anything. I was a straight C student. I wasn't doing extracurriculars. I was working part-time jobs. So I wasn't really doing anything. And so I think Mom was trying to get me just pointed in a direction where I'd just at least do something and be successful, even if it's not classic success like making money or building a business. It was still like, just do something so you like yourself, and that actually was very like a kick in the pants I needed. But so when I got this kick in the pants, I had nowhere to go. I was 17, halfway through my senior year in high school, and so I went and lived with my father. And when I went and lived with my father, I had a car that my mom and stepdad had given me. It was a 71 Volkswagen Squareback. Now, for those of you that don't know what a Squareback is, it was like a station wagon version of the Beetle. There's a fastback, which had, there's the Beetle that looked like this, and then the fastback's kind of more like this, and then the squareback's completely like this. It's a station wagon. We packed 9 kids in there one time to go to lunch at high school. We called it the Buddha wagon or the Buddha mobile because for some reason, I wasn't fat, but I was chubby. But I got the nickname Buddha for a while in high school, so we called that the Buddha mobile. And I can't make this long story short anymore, so I won't use that cliche. But I found that some of the paperwork for the insurance to that car, which I got rid of like shortly after, before I even left my father's house in 1988. Probably 86 or 87. I got rid of that car. I think we sold it, and it had the old insurance documents. It still had my stepdad's name on it. It had a little thing in my stepdad signed saying, "I hereby give John Corelli this car as a gift." So that was kind of weird to find. And then I found stuff that really, it's funny. I'm having all these moments, and I've discussed that my relationship with my father is not great. It's sad, really. I mean, it's a bummer because I think he has a lot to offer. I think I have a lot to offer him, to be honest. I think if we could get along and just understand that we're not going to see eye to eye on stuff and just respect each other as men, I think we could come a long way and maybe enjoy the last moments of his life. But be that as it may, this one really hurt to see. It was very weird. So, like I said, he's got boxes of paperwork that he hasn't needed for probably 20 years. I showed you guys on the last episode how he had a newspaper. And it wasn't even like crumpled up and used to really pad anything. For some reason, there was a newspaper from 1999. But this is just like, so when they were in this is more of still living in Carson City, Nevada. Sometimes you move into a place and you keep getting the person's mail who used to live there, or just a wrong address, and they had kept all that, and that was weird to me. Instead, when I get a letter and it's my address, but that person doesn't live there, what I was taught to do, you put no longer at this address, and you circle the name and the address, and you just put it back in the mail, and hopefully it gets to that person. It's not what my mom and stepdad did, and there was some mail that was really meaningful and important in there. I actually got $10 out of it because one of them was a birthday card to like a 10-year-old kid. And I'm not going to feel bad about keeping the $10 and throwing away the card because I'm never going to locate this person. Didn't even have his last name on it. The kid's name was Byron. It might have been the last name. I don't know. Or I probably could have put it together, but honestly, the postmark is 2001. It's 20 years old. I'm taking the $10 and but it was weird that my mom and stepdad, or my dad's stepmom, just kept this mail. And then I saw a postcard to the same kid, like maybe a year later, that said, "Well, we hope you're doing well. We haven't heard from you, and we'd like to know how things are going. And it sounds like you're turning into a nice young man." That broke my heart. That really made me sad that there are people that care about this kid, and this kid, neither of them know what happened with this mail. And I hope you never know, that could have led to a breakup of two entire families, just because my crazy dad and my crazy stepmother would rather just keep mail in a box. Like, well, fuck them. They can't communicate to the post office. No, it's your due diligence to get that back into the system. And that's not even due diligence. That's just doing the right thing, right? I also found a bunch of pension checks for this lady. A couple $1,000s worth of pension checks. To my, I don't know if I'd say my dad's and stepmom's credit, if that's like, I was gonna say to their credit, they didn't cash them. Okay, still, you couldn't because your name isn't on these checks, but these needed to at least go back to the sender. It was it was like a seamstresses union or something. It was kind of interesting, but that should have gone back. And that lady, I hope she eventually received her money, but I don't know. So it's very weird and just frankly disappointing to see that my father and stepmother just didn't do the right thing in that instance, and fucking mosquitoes. And so that really brought me some disappointment and sadness last night when I was going through all that stuff, mostly just to recycle it. But also sometimes you get curious, you find some weird things and like, oh, okay, that's something I found, that's something they did. But yeah, so to that kid and to that lady and to all the other people that never got their mail, I'm sorry. I guess that's about it. I'll see you guys next time for part 5, and maybe we'll keep going, maybe we won't. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.